Bronco, welcome
What's up,
back
man?
to Studio B.
Hey, did you say my jacket was awesome?
Yeah, I like your jacket.
Appreciate
It's
that.
sort of like a Letterman's jacket. What it like?
Sort of.
Do you wear it when you ride on your motorcycle? Is that one of those?
I wear it
jackets?
when I show up in Studio B.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's my
a
Studio B jacket.
Yeah. Perfect. Perfect.
We have decided to spice this interview up. We have some hot tamales for you. This is in coordination
Do you
with
like
our
these?
senior coordinating producer, Michael Miner. He chipped in on this. And the bag of Snickers. This is to help you get the
You
team
seemed
fired up
moody,
tomorrow.
so we got Snickers.
Which one was Michael Miner's contribution?
Do I have to answer that question?
Yeah, actually. Well, let's put it this way: if I have to answer your questions, then you
Okay.
have to answer my questions.
That's fair.
So I will gauge my answers based on this answer for
Okay,
this segment.
Okay. Clarity right here. Absolute transparency. Bronco, I forgot to bring a snack today. So Michael brought both of these.
Awesome. Okay. I suspected. I suspected. That's just I wanted to make sure that the world knew.
I swung
and you
and
know
missed.
I didn't bring anything.
That's why I was talking over you.
Hopefully I can get a pass after all that we've been through in the snack category.
With the jalapeno Pringles in the tube, that's been a good thing. So I think that bought you a little leeway.
Some leeway.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Next
Fair
level.
enough. Now that we've got that
Next
out of the
level,
way.
yeah.
Jason Beck said something really funny on the show on Wednesday. We asked him, do you know where your senior blanket is? And he's like, I don't think that I do. But he's probably going to look for it right now. And he's going to get after me for bringing this up. And then we said, well, do you use it? And he said, well, it's kind of small. So is it time to upgrade the senior blanket to make it bigger?
That's the first bit of feedback I've gotten about the blanket. So that's helpful. I'm going to look into that now. Because what good's a blanket if you can't wrap in it and snuggle in? And
You just say it's for your posterity. It's for your kids.
and these are for football players. So you'd think rather than a little snuggie, it ought to be like a big macker,
Okay.
Tomorrow should be a lot of fun. Final home game, chance to go undefeated, honor the seniors. Is it a more emotional game for you, or do you try and put that aside because you have a game to play?
Yeah, it's not until afterwards. And then there's a moment, and usually regardless of the outcome, win or loss, there's emotion. But when you start thinking then about the seniors and I start seeing their impact and it kind of settling in, that's when it usually kind of hits me. And so that's usually post game because before we're still playing a game and it's hard to even consider what else at that point.
18 seniors.
And is that why you do it pregame?
There's really no good time to do it. The best chance to really honor our seniors is at the banquet, and that's usually in the springtime.
Yep.
And that's a very intimate setting, private setting. We have more time, and we're able to say and do what we really want.
This
and
is a public.
it's more
showing.
symbolic,
Yeah.
and which is great because we do, and I do appreciate all the seniors have done. Our team wants to do the same thing, show acknowledgement. It's great for the families to have a moment also being acknowledged. But really the most meaningful and well-designed time is at our banquet.
18 seniors, as I just mentioned. And I know that you have a unique relationship with each of them, from recruiting to what they did on the field and different emotional things and what goes on in the classroom. I mean, you have an open door policy for your team. So that said, which of these personalities has been the loudest? Maybe literally.
Oh, that's easy, Devon. I mean, that's just. In fact, if you gave me the name of each senior, I could have something right away that is meaningful. And most of the things aren't on the field. They're somehow, some way related to either recruiting, conversational interactions that have been in my office, either happy or not so happy times. And that's really what I remember. When I was talking with Jan Jorgensen and Vince and Shane Hunter, and they're all graduate assistants and played for me, and I don't remember what years they played and what games we won, but I remember specific interactions, and which is it's a pretty cool lesson.
We had our 20-man research staff look this up. Devon Blackman has the second most catches of any BYU player that doesn't have a touchdown catch to Nate Mickle. So there's that. So in this game,
Regarding Nate Mickle, he is one I remember a play against Wyoming kickoff return where I think he
it should have
scores.
been a touchdown.
Yeah.
It should have been a touchdown.
So of all the plays, I remember that about Nate.
Now that would not have been a receiving touchdown. That's specifically what I'm
but
talking.
it's just-
He scored a rushing touchdown, by the way. But is there a game plan to get Devon Blackman a touchdown?
Not specifically, no.
No. Okay.
Yeah.
But if he
I'm sure he
scores-
would want that.
Yes.
In fact, he might be the one, because I've been receiving notes, and he might that might be coming from Devon.
What do you mean you've been
But
receiving
just
notes?
throw Devon the ball in the end zone for a touchdown.
Like sticky notes on your
Just
door,
diff-
emails,
yeah,
texts?
card stock, sticky notes.
Is it all the same handwriting?
It appears to be. So I could use your guys' help. I mean,
With a play call?
no.
Should we talk to Rob?
With actually just tracing to see if it's coming actually
Deciphering
from
that?
Devon. Yeah.
Okay.
You get a PI for that.
Now, serious question as a follow-up. If Devon scores a touchdown and breaks out in some epic dance and gets a penalty, would you be mad?
It'll be his last touchdown. Yeah.
A la J.J. DeLuigi against Wyoming in 09 kind of did the dance.
Could be.
He said he had planned it, and I said, you planned on a penalty? And he said, yes.
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
man.
That's. There's been stranger things happen.
Yes. Oh, it's good stuff. Bronco Mendenhall, the head football coach of BYU, with us in Studio B. You look at your starting quarterback tomorrow, Tanner Mangum. This BYU team is 7-3. Taysom Hill goes out in the first game, and I asked Jason Beck the same question on Wednesday. Are we at a point now with how violent and just high pace this game can be that you need two starting quarterbacks to be successful?
I think so, and you have to have your backup that is Tanner Mangum quality. Which, what you just would prefer is there isn't a senior to a true freshman. You hope that there's a little bit closer spacing, but really it's becoming challenging. And I think Ohio State is finding that out to keep everyone happy, balance the chemistry of the team. And at some point you have to have an identity. And if there's not enough space between quarterbacks, then they want to run the team, and they want to be the starter. And so Tanner is amazing, and it's just worked out for us beautifully this year. Ideally, you'd want maybe a year closer than what Tanner is to your starter, and then just keep that cycle going, because very few teams make it through with only one quarterback.
Notre Dame has needed that. They have a young guy. Baylor has needed that. They might have their third string.
You mentioned Ohio State.
Ohio State, of course, the biggest example.
And so it can be done and needs to be done, but you just have to manage the unique things that come with that as you maybe stockpile. I'm not sure that's the right word. In your succession planning at quarterback, at some point transfers happen, and we've hit that a couple times.
When do you hope to get an answer related to Taysom Hill's future?
Oh, after the season, I am not in a hurry. Taysom has earned and should be given every possibility to just sort through that on his own. And when he knows, then it's okay for me to know. And I don't have a timetable. He and I tentatively set up at the end of the season, and that wasn't post-bowl game or pre-bowl game. So I'll touch base with him again after our Utah State game and just kind of see where he is. But I want him to have complete ownership of that and feel good about it.
Will Tanner Mangum be involved in that conversation?
I don't know.
I mean, once Taysom makes a decision,
so
you have to balance
certainly, yeah. Once the decision is made, whatever that is, and then based on what it is, that will determine how much Tanner is included and how we plan that. And there's all different kinds of ways that can go. I think they're all positive and possible. But man, we right now, beating Fresno State tomorrow and playing really well is.
Look at you reel it back in, man.
Is on, because the game's tomorrow. Yeah, my countenance just changed, didn't it? It was just like, yeah.
Game face.
That's fair. Your game is tomorrow.
Exactly right. I was just reminding all of us of that.
But that's actually happening.
Yeah.
Football will be played at LaVell Edwards Stadium for the final time. BYU trying to go undefeated at home against Fresno State.
Cool.
What kind of bearing does that have on each season?
When I was very first named head coach, like a million years ago, that was one of the things that had to happen. You can't have chances at 10-win seasons every year, which is what less than 10% of all college teams do unless you play great at home. And so sequentially, it was starting with, man, you have to play well in your own stadium. Then you have to play well within your own state. Then certainly you had to play well within your own conference at that time. And then that usually got you a chance to be toward 10 wins, which then puts you on the national stage, and then you're in your bowl game. And if you win that and you do those things every year, you become a really, really strong program and very consistent. And so that was one of the very first things put in place.
What's it been like this season to have what you called at the beginning of the show, Inside BYU Football? I'm tired of other people telling our message. I want to tell our message. What's it been like to have your message said that way?
Yeah, mixed feelings. And I'd be able to respond more accurately if I watched it. I thought at the beginning of this, because one of the things I I don't know if I negotiated, that was agreed to, is I'd watch every show and I'd have the chance to say what goes in and what doesn't go in. I've never seen the show because there's just no time. And so I don't know how it's being told. And I've gotten some data and feedback from ratings and different things and from fans who seem to like it, but I don't know how accurately it's being told, but I know it's almost complete access. Very few times has there not been someone following us around wherever we are. And so I hope it's been insightful. I hope it's an accurate presentation or representation. But it is, I can't say that it doesn't change people's behavior. You know, the thought was after a couple weeks it would just go away. And I can make it invisible, but I do see a difference in conduct of people when the camera's right there. And maybe they're trying to be the better version of themselves, so I can't say it's a negative thing. But I think any maybe reality show, I would question some of the authenticity all the way to its core. It's certainly a better glimpse, but until I watch the show, it's hard for me to say.
Spencer's 100% like this when the camera's not on, just so you know. But
you're one of the only ones. Then.
Yeah. In terms of the messaging,
You know?
yeah. In terms of the messaging, yeah, you would be the only one that could say, yeah, that's the 100%. In terms of what the fan reaction has been, they've loved it.
Have they
because
really?
they get to see inside BYU football.
Bronco
It's been
crowd
unique.
surfing at Nebraska. Are you kidding me?
The
So-
Taysom Hill shot with Mitch Matthews we would have never seen that before.
So if that's the response and what you guys are saying is accurate, then yeah, I'm for it, because the rest, most of the interviews I get, and this is not just this year but over time, man, it's with a specific intent and a specific storyline to be presented, kind of already determined. And so if that's the case, and if I have a chance, or when I have a chance after the season and I go through it, then yeah, I might have suggestions on how to even make it more authentic or more true to what we're actually doing, and why. Maybe the why it needs to come out a little bit more.
What have you gotten out of this year's ambitious schedule that you take as a positive?
I loved it. In fact, I would, after Missouri, Robert, Coach and I were sitting in the airplane together side by side, and it was just, we need more of these. And that doesn't mean at home. Just the farther we travel against the better teams, the more we know about what we have to do with our program to keep battling to get on the national stage. And those lessons aren't learned anywhere else. I want the best teams wherever they want to play. And so all it has done is validated. And there is the argument to schedule down and win every game. And, you know, that's a closer way to get into the Fiesta Bowl than what we're doing. Man, I'm looking even beyond that. I want the program to grow and expand and be dominant on the biggest stage possible. And I think the only way you can learn those lessons is by playing, man, the most fierce competition wherever they'll play you. And so I'm for it. And next year's is more difficult than this year's. And I think, and that's what motivates me, and on behalf of the program, it's the right thing to do. And man, if you could have seen the players walk into Arrowhead Stadium, the walk through the day before, they want that. They want those stages against those teams, and they want the lessons that come either way. And they want it at UCLA. We're a few points away from having and I still think we'll have a great finish and a strong season, but a couple points away from magical. But you got to go through those games, and I want them.
Bronco, it's been great to have you again in Studio B. We would like you to sign our new Stretch Y flag behind us.
No way.
One of our Twitter followers at P_Norton says, don't have him sign it, but not on one of the creases.
Okay.
He's going to iron it.
He's going to iron it tonight.
Yeah.
Nice. So do I do that right now?
You can do that during the
right now?
commercial
Yeah.
break. You can go do that right now.
I'm going right now.
Always a pleasure. Don't
Thanks.
forget your candy.
Yeah.
It's not a question.
I'm going Snickers with tamale chaser in terms of order.
Something I never thought I'd hear on these microphones.
Bronco isn't always himself. That's why we have to give him a Snickers.
Give it up for Bronco. We're back after this.